Am I visible, Mataji? Whether my
Mataji, your video is not on, Mataji, but your voice is audible, Mataji.
Yeah, I don't know voice. I'm facing some issue. Okay, presently okay. Anyway, I will change the location, then it may be clear that time. Anybody is sharing, Madhya, or shall I share my screen?
I would have to ask Mataji. Anyone on laptop? Dinesh Prabhuji, are you on laptop?
No, otherwise I'll share it. I'll try.
Sorry,
I think
Mataji.
no problem. I'll do it, Prabhu.
No problem.
Yeah, just give me a minute.
Yes, Mataji.
I think I have to change my location. The Wi-Fi is very poor here. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll change it.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, sure.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Still, the video is not coming, right? Okay.
Mataji, try sharing, Mataji. Maybe the video is not coming, but when you share, the screen may come.
Oh, okay. Let me try.
Yes, Mataji.
Could you all see the screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, fine then.
Yes, Mataji.
So we are actually reading from chapter 17. Have to do from text 34, right? Okay, punishment and reward of Kali. We have to start from text 34. Yeah. Can anyone read the sloka, please?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes,
Pranams,
Prabhu.
Mataji. Shall I, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Pranams. I think Bhargavi has raised her hand, so you can do the translation. Yeah, go ahead. Mataji. Hare Krishna, Bhargavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Krishnamurti Prabhuji, you want to read the purport or sloka, Prabhuji?
Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji. It is all right.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranams.
Pranams,
Yasmin,
yeah.
Yasmin Harir Bhagavan Ijyamana Ijyatma Murtir Yajatam Shamtanoti Kaman Amoghan Stira Jangamana Antar Bahir Vayur Ivaisa Atma.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Can anyone read the translation, please? But you can continue with the translation, then someone can read the purport. Bhargavi Mataji,
Sure.
please.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. In all sacrificial ceremonies, although sometimes a demigod is worshipped, the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is worshipped because He is the super soul of everyone and exists both inside and outside like the air. Thus, it is He only who awards all welfare to the worshipper. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Can someone read the purport, please?
May I, Mataji?
Yeah, Mati, please proceed.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Purport by Sri Prabhupada Ji ki jai. It is even sometimes seen that demigods like Indra and Chandra are worshipped and offered sacrificial awards. Yet the rewards of all such sacrifices are awarded to the worshipper by the Supreme Lord, and it is the Lord only who can offer all welfare to the worshipper. The demigods, although worshipped, cannot do anything without the sanction of the Lord, because the Lord is the super soul of everyone, both moving and non-moving. In Bhagavad Gita 9.23, the Lord himself confirms this in the following shloka: Yepya anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha te api mam eva kaunteya yajantya avidhi purvakam. Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. The fact is that the Supreme Lord is one without a second. There is no God other than the Lord himself. Thus, the Supreme Lord is eternally transcendental to the material creation. But there are many who worship the demigods like the sun, the moon, and Indra, who are only material representatives of the Supreme Lord. These demigods are indirect, qualitative representations of the Supreme Lord. A learned scholar or devotee, however, knows who is who. Therefore, he directly worships the Supreme Lord and is not diverted by the material, qualitative representations. Those who are not so learned worship such qualitative material representations, but their worship is unceremonious because it is irregular. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. So here actually, Parikshit Maharaj is talking with Kalipurusha. The Kalipurusha was actually trying to attack the cow and the bull, and the cow is in tears. When seeing the condition of the cow and the bull, he got very angry and he actually checked with the cow and the bull, who actually make them to cry like this, who actually suffered them a lot. But they didn't give the right answer, but they actually give, there are various reasons behind all these things. Though Parikshit Maharaj understood that they are very religious and pious sources, and he immediately actually wants to punish Kalipurusha. And when Kalipurusha saw the anger of King Parikshit, so he was in fear now. So he immediately actually surrender himself to Parikshit Maharaj. And whoever actually surrendered unto him, since Parikshit Maharaj is actually came from the Pandava dynasty and they all are very religious people, they are actually following the religious principles perfectly. So Parikshit Maharaj also immediately, he actually couldn't punish Kalipurusha. Because Kalipurusha actually surrendered himself. So it is the duty of the king to give protection to the living being, to all living being, and whoever surrendered to him, he has to actually give protection. So now these words are actually spoken by Parikshit Maharaj. Okay, so in all sacrificial ceremonies, although sometimes a demigod is worshipped, the supreme godhead is worshipped because he is the super soul of everyone. So actually, whenever the religious principles or religious ritualistic activities are going on, based on their faith and based on their knowledge, the people will follow certain type of austerities and certain types of worship. This is given in Bhagavad Gita by the Lord himself, means according to their level of faith and their level of understanding, they will do different types of worship. So, and here it is clearly says that by the Lord, 9.23 in the Bhagavad Gita, E api anya devata bhakta. So some people, they worship demigods because they are less intelligent. Because you see, the reason is given here clearly that by worshipping the demigods, they will get some material benefit. Okay, but the demigods are not independent. Whatever they are actually giving or awarding the benefits, it is actually really sanctioned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's why in this verse, it is clearly given that even though whatever they are actually praying, I am the one actually sanctioning. Means he is the one actually awarding the results through the demigods. But the people, they are thinking that they are wrongly thinking that, okay, we actually satisfy the demigod. So that's why demigod actually fulfilled our desires. So this is their, because of their less intelligent or because of their understanding. So they are actually thinking like that. And they all are actually the quantitative representations. Here the demigods are mentioned as qualitative representations. So what does it means? We all are Jivatma. We all are the part and parcel of Krishna. See, in the 15th chapter, it is mentioned that Mamaivamsa Jivaloki Jiva Buddha Sanatanaga. So we all are eternal parts and parcel of Krishna. The demigods also the living entities in this material world. But they have little more power. They all are actually the administrators compared to the human beings. Okay, so they are also living entities, but so qualitatively we all are one. All the living entities qualitatively one. But what is the difference between the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Quantitatively we are different. See, we all are Anu, but the Lord is Vibhu. So that is the difference. So here, instead of actually worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the less intelligent persons, they are worshipping the demigods. So we'll move on to the next verse. Can anyone read the verse, please? Verse and the translation.
Shall I,
Yeah,
Mataji?
Mataji. Yeah, Mataji, please continue.
श्रुतोवाच परीक्षितैर्वमादिष्ट सः कलिर्जावतवे ते वेदपथुः तमुद्यातासि माहेदं दण्डपाणिमिवोद्यतम्. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Sutta Goswami said, the personality of Kali, thus being ordered by Maharaja Parishit, began to tremble in fear. Seeing the king before him like Yamaraja, ready to kill him, Kali spoke to the king as follows. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Can anyone read the purport, please? Think
Hare
Divya, Mataji. Yeah,
Hare-
Mataji, please continue.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The king was ready to kill the personality of Kali at once as soon as he disobeyed his order. Otherwise, the king had no objection to allowing him to prolong his life. The personality of Kali was also, after attempting to get rid of the punishment in various ways, decided that he must surrender unto him, and thus he began to tremble in fear of his life. The king or the executive head must be so strong as to stand before the personality of Kali like the personality of death, Yamaraj. The king's order must be obeyed, otherwise, the culprit's life is in risk. That is the way to rule the personalities of Kali who create disturbance in normal life of the state citizens. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, the qualities of a ruler is mentioned here. One who is very responsible, they should know the religious principles and they have to follow the religious principles. So here, Parikshit Maharaj is very strong in following the religious principles because he has already mentioned that he wants to actually maintain the whatever the famous Pandavas did. He wants to actually maintain the same principles even in his reign itself. So that's why here Sutta Goswami said that the Kali got fear now. Because Parikshit Maharaj is very strong, he is immediately, he has taken his sword and he is ready to kill Kali Purusha. Okay, ready to actually kill, yeah. So in front of Kali Purusha, Parikshit Maharaj actually looks like the Yamaraj. So he got very much scared. So the quality one has to possess is the administrator should be very strong, very strong. He should not allow any irreligious activities within the kingdom. So he has to actually act like a Yamaraj. When any Jivatma, when they are leaving their body, they have to go in front of Yamaraj into their court, and he has to actually give the judgment based on our karma. So the judge should be actually equal to everyone. He has to see the rights and wrongs in the same vision. So like that, the king should be very strong that he should not allow any irreligious activities. So similarly, each responsible person, it is actually applicable to the responsible person in a family also. So whoever is actually responsible in the family, they should be very strong that they should know the religious principles and they have to follow it. Similarly, they should actually make the dependents to follow the religious principles. So that is the right quality, okay, of the responsible person. Here the kings should be like that. And Parikshit Maharaj behaved as the ideal king, and he is very much strong enough to not allow the irreligious principle to in his kingdom. So we'll move on to the next verse. Text 36. Can anyone read the sloka and the translation, please?
Can I try, Mataji?
Yeah, Archana. Yes, Mataji.
Kaliruvacha yatra kva vatsami sarvabhauma tavarjanaya lakshaye tatra tatrapi tvamatlesu sarasanam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, Your Majesty, though I may live anywhere and everywhere under your order, I shall but see you with bow and arrows wherever I look. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. May I read the purport?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The personality of Kali could see that Maharaja Parikshit was the emperor of all lands all over the world, and thus anywhere he might live, he would have to meet with the same mood of the king. The personality of Kali was meant for mischief, and Maharaja Parikshit was meant for subduing all kinds of mischief mongers, especially the personality of Kali. It was better, therefore, for personality of Kali to have been killed by the king then and there, instead of being killed elsewhere. He was, after all, a surrendered soul before the king, and it was for the king to do what was required. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So the Kali Purusha, very much actually clear that he cannot enter into the kingdom, even though he has surrendered himself to Parikshit Maharaj. He knows very well that he is a very religious person and he is very strong to maintain the religious principle in his kingdom. So there is no chance to actually enter without his permission. So, and he understood that without his permission means he is actually looking like Yamaraj. So even though if he allows, he doesn't have any place to enter. Means the thing is, if one follows the religious principle very strongly, then he won't be affected by Maya. So that is the main thing, even though he has actually surrendered himself. See here, in the purport it is given that the person is meant for mischief, means the Kali Purusha meant for mischief, and Maharaja Parikshit was actually meant for subduing all kinds of mischief mongers. So they both are actually opposite in quality. Okay, so he cannot enter into the kingdom. So that's why it's actually wondering, even though I surrendered myself, it is now the responsibility of the king to allow one place for me. If I am actually forcibly tried to enter into the kingdom, it is not possible. So he understood the situation clearly. That's why it surrendered himself to the Parikshit Maharaj. Okay. So, okay. So we'll move on to the next verse 37. Sudhamarji, do you want to read the sloka?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, please. Thank you, Mataji. Continue.
तन्मे धर्मभृतां श्रेष्ठा स्थानं निर्देष्टुमर्हसि यत्रैव नियतो वत्स्या अतिष्ठं स्ते नुशासनम्. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Therefore, O chief amongst the protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under the protection of your government.
Thank you, Mataji. Now,
Hare
Kirish,
Krishna,
now
Mataji,
Kishore. Yeah,
yes,
Mataji,
Mataji.
please.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Pranams, Mataji.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The personality of Kali addressed Maharaja Parikshit as the chief amongst the protector of religiosity because the king refrained from killing a person who surrendered unto him. The surrendered soul should be given all protection even though he may be an enemy. That is the principles of religion, and we can just imagine what sorts of protection is given by the personality of Godhead to the person who surrendered unto him, not as an enemy, but as a devotee servitor. The Lord protects the surrendered soul from all sins and all resultant reactions of sinful acts. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So, this is such a nice verse that in this, why we have to surrender ourselves to the Lord. Everybody will have a question like this. They may have a question like this. Why we have to surrender ourselves? Because he only actually created all the living entities. So it is his responsibility to do the changes. Why we have to surrender ourselves? Some people will challenge the Lord in such a way. So here it is given. Even here, the Parikshit Maharaj, who is a devotee of the Lord, he is following all the religious principles perfectly. So, if a person is actually following all the religious principles perfectly, then the irreligion, immoral acts won't actually enter. So, we are already actually irreligious, okay, because we disobedient to the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We want to actually enjoy because it is clearly given in the 15th chapter. Mamaivamsa jivaloge jiva buddha sanatanaga manaha shastani indriyani prakritistani kathati. So we are actually trying to enjoy ourselves without the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because of that desire, we are actually suffering. So the reason is given here. And if we are not surrender ourselves, then it is difficult for us to get out from this material world. That is also given in one of the verses in Bhagavad Gita. Daivihi yesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam yevaye prapatyante mayam etam tarantite. So this whole world is actually administered by the external energy of the Lord. That is Maya. Okay, so she is actually very strict and very strong. Who is saying this? Daivihi Yeshagunamaye Mama Maya Duratyaya. It is very difficult to overcome. So what is the solution then? Mam Yevaye Prapatyante Maya Metam Tarantite. Simply by surrendering yourself to the Lord. So the Lord says that surrender yourself to me. And here also another famous example is given, 18.66. Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Aham Tvam Sarva Papepyo Mokshayishyami Masuchaka. So in that verse, Prabhupada in the purport clearly explains that, see, generally when we are speaking about these spiritual matters or this transcendental platform and transcendental knowledge and all, it is difficult for the normal person to understand or come to this level. Okay, maybe they have done a lot of pious activities in their previous life, all by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, then only they will come to this platform, this spiritual platform. So it is given in the Shastras. So one has to actually Bahunam Janmanam ante Jnanavan Mam Prapatyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samagatma Sudurlabhaka. So it is not that much easy to come to the spiritual platform or connecting ourselves with the Lord or getting the knowledge about these spiritual matters. That is not very easy. But here the Lord says that surrender yourself, even though you are irreligious. So what does it mean? How can a person actually will surrender immediately to the Lord? If we are not religious, even if you are religious, is it possible for us to immediately surrender to the Lord immediately? How many of you surrendered yourself to the Lord fully?
Mataji, can you please repeat the question? I mean, two questions
Okay.
are there.
The thing is, it is actually mentioned here that one has to actually surrender oneself to the Lord. Then only we can come out from this Maya, this material world. Okay. The solution is recommended or given by the Lord. Daivihi Yesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratya. I referred that sloka.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Mataji.
Here, the irreligious principle means the Kali Purusha surrendered himself to Parikshit Maharaj. Okay, because it knows very well that he cannot enter into the kingdom of King Parikshit without his permission. He can't enter. So he actually surrendered himself. So in this verse, the purport Prabhupada mentioned that simply by actually surrendered himself, the Kalipurusha got the benefit, because once who surrendered, the person has to actually do some benefit or protection to the surrendered soul. So if the person is doing like that, what about the Lord? Whoever actually surrendered unto him, surely the Lord will actually protect the surrendered soul. So this line is mentioned in the purport. My question is, generally, the person who will surrender to the Lord, one who knows the Lord, one who has faith on the Lord, like that, that person only surrender to the Lord, right?
Yes, yes,
So,
Mataji.
okay, so how will we get the faith? If we connect ourselves with the spiritually enlightened people, with the Vaishnavas, or already we are in the devotional path, then only we will come to know all these things. But who will come to the devotional path? Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavanmam Prapatyate. The irreligious people cannot actually understand these topics, and they won't surrender themselves to the Lord. Then how they will actually surrender themselves to the Lord? If we have lot of bad qualities, if you are not qualified enough, then how we can surrender to the Lord? Is it possible for us to surrender to the Lord?
Maybe out of fear, Mataji. Just like Kali Purusha is getting scared of King Parikshit because he's an administrator and he's the king. Out of fear, he's surrendering.
Okay. So what about the irreligious? Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, what I feel is those who are reading these scriptures and like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and all that, and listening to the classes and chanting, these people itself will try to surrender, but they will take time because they are just we all are in just starting stage, neophyte stage. So even we will take some time to completely surrender. That is what I feel, Mataji. But the non-devotees who are against, like who are not willing to even say Lord's name, they can never surrender, Mataji. They will be in this birth and death cycle only. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
First of all, Mataji, we have to have a proper understanding of what is exactly surrender. Okay, we think we are doing devotional service, we are chanting, we are trying to get detached from things, sense gratification we want to live. And what is more into that, Mataji? Because we think we have surrendered, we are surrendering. But actual meaning we have to understand, Mataji.
Yeah. See, in the 18.66. Yeah, Mataji. Yes.
In Bhagavad Gita, it says about the 4 type of people, but it is saying that they'll come to me, but they're not specifying they're surrendering to me. So I'm not sure that the 4 type of people are.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
Hare
So,
Krishna,
yeah.
Mataji, I sometimes feel like when we are faced with very difficult situations, we normally worry about what's going to happen and all that. So that means we have not surrendered. But once we surrendered to God, we stop worrying. So once we stop worrying, that means we have surrendered, the outcome or whatever the direction is, the path to be led.
Yeah. No, it doesn't mean that that's what. Let us actually, what the Mataji said previously, we should know what is the meaning of surrender. Okay, so let us actually refer the purport in 18.60. Prabhupada nicely mentioned that the process of surrender to Krishna is described in the Hari Bhakti Vilasa. This is one of the famous verse. Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam, rakshishyatati vishwasho, goptritve vadanam tata, atma nikshepa karpanye sadvita saranagatihi. So these are actually the 6 types of surrendering process. or different levels of surrendering. So the first one is the first level. This is also the symptom or level of surrender. Anukulasya sankalpa. One who has faith on the Lord, and he will choose only the favorable activities which will actually help him to advance in devotional service, supporting to the Lord. So that favorable actions, he will do only the favorable activities. That is anukulasya sankalpa. This is also the level of surrender. If he prefers to do the favorable activities or recommended activities, that is also the level of surrender. Second one is pratikulasya varjanam. Means if he is doing his duty, that doesn't matter. But that through the duty, he should actually develop the bhakti. Okay, that is important. And the second one is pratikulasya varjanam. What does it mean? Anything that does not lead to the perfection stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. So they won't actually involve in other activities. If it is not actually supporting or helping his advancement in Krishna consciousness, he won't take it. So that is also the level of surrendering. So this is the second. And the third one is Rakshishyatati Visvaso. There is no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see to that. So they have such a strong faith on the Lord. Krishna will take care of it. Whether we are actually very much purified, whether we are eligible to back to Godhead, no worries. We should simply follow the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if we have that much faith, if one person possesses that much faith, then that is also the type of surrendering. Goptritve varanam tatha means one should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna the only basis for his progress in life. We cannot do anything. We may falsely think that, okay, by our knowledge, by our power, by our actually association, we can do it. That is ahankara vimudatma. Okay, so without the Lord, we can't do anything. So if one thinks like that, then that is also the level of surrender. That is also the symptom of surrender. And next is Atma Nikshepa Karpanye. Satvita Saranagati. So as soon as one seriously engages himself in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, at once he becomes freed from all contamination of material nature. So if one actually always think himself helpless and engage himself in devotional service to the Lord, then that is also the surrender. So these are all the different processes of surrender, religion and purificatory process. Okay. So, surrender, the meaning is given. So, what are the things we have to follow? We should do anukulasya sankalpa. Second one is pratikulasya varjana. By doing this, these are all different level of surrendering. Okay, by actually following these instructions, we are actually trying to improve ourselves, or we are upgrading ourselves to reach the full level of surrender. So, this is actually given in the purport of 18.66. Prabhupada clearly mentioned about the different types of surrendering, the level of surrendering. Because here Krishna says that, surrender unto me, I will take care of everything. I will clear all your sinful activities, I will take care of you. So here Prabhupada clearly mentioned in the purport. And based on the level of surrender, surely we will awarded by the Lord. Because Krishna is so merciful, even King Parikshit is actually following the religious principle. One who is following the religious principle, he is actually ready to give protection to the Kali Purusha. Then what to speak of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So, ye yatha mam prapatyante tam sadeva bhajamyaham. So, based on our level of surrender, here we have mentioned, here we have seen, gone through the different level of surrender. So, based on our level, surely we will get the benefit and the mercy. So we'll move on to the next verse, text 38.
Mataji, can I ask a question or towards the end of the session, Mataji?
Yeah, towards the end. Could you hold it, Mataji?
Yep.
We'll
Yes,
move.
Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji,
6:38.
I would request Dinesh Prabhu, Krishnamurti Prabhu, Giridhar Gopal Prabhu all to read Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay. Any Prabhus can read the sloka and translation, please? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I am in mobile Mataji, I can't able to see the scripture
Oh, okay.
separately. So
Okay.
please Mataji, sorry.
Anyone else? Okay. I think
Hare Krishna Mataji.
they are not able to do. Yeah, please. Mataji's continue this.
Sut uvaच अभ्याप्तिदस्तदा तस्मै स्थानानि कलये ददौ द्युतं पानं स्त्रियाशु सूना यत्र धर्मश्चतुर्विधा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Suda Goswami said, Maharaja Parikshit, thus being petitioned by the personality of Kali, gave him permission to reside in places where gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter were performed. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Anyone wants to read the purport?
Mataji, the purport is long, so we can, 2-3 people can read it accordingly.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll start, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Yeah. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The basic principles of irreligiosity, such as pride, prostitution, intoxication, and falsehood, counteract the 4 principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. The personality of Kali was given permission to live in 4 places, particularly mentioned by the king, namely the place of gambling, the place of prostitution, the place of drinking, and the place of animal slaughter. Srila Jiva Goswami directs that drinking against the precepts of scriptures, such as the Sautramani Yagna, association with women outside marriage, and killing animals against the injunctions of scriptures, are irreligious. In the Vedas, 2 different types of injunctions are there for the pravratas, for those who are engaged in material enjoyment, and for the nivratas, or those who are liberated from material bondage. The Vedic injunction for the pravratas is to gradually regulate their activities towards the path of liberation. Therefore, for those who are in the lower stage of ignorance and who indulge in wine, women, flesh, and drinking by performing Sautramani Yagna, association of women by marriage, and flesh eating by sacrifice are sometimes recommended. Such recommendation in the Vedic literature are meant for a particular class of men and not for all. But because there are injunction of the Vedas for particular types of persons, such activities by the Pravartas are not considered adharma. One man's food may be poison for others. Similarly, what is recommended for those in the mode of ignorance may be poison for those in the mode of goodness. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu, therefore, affirms that recommendation in the scriptures for a certain class of men are never to be considered adharma or irreligious. But such activities are factually adharma, and they are never to be encouraged. The recommendations in the scriptures are not meant for the encouragement of such adharma, but for regulating the necessary adharma gradually towards the path of dharma. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay.
Anyone wants to?
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, anyone wants to continue the...
Can I, Mataji?
Okay. Yes, Mataji.
Following in the footsteps of Maharaja Parikshit, it is the duty of all executive heads of states to see that the principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, are established in the state, and that the principles of religion, namely pride, illicit female association or prostitution, intoxication, and falsity, are checked by all means. And to take And to make the best use of a bad bargain, the personality of Kali may be transferred to places of gambling, drinking, and slaughterhouses, if there are any places like that. Those who are addicted to these irreligious habits may be regulated by the injunctions of the scripture. In no circumstances should they be encouraged by any state. In other words, the state should categorically stop all sorts of gambling, drinking, prostitution, and falsity. The state, which wants to eradicate corruption by majority, may introduce the principles of religion in the following manner. First one, 2 compulsory fasting days in a month. Mataji, can you please scroll a little up, Mataji?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry.
First one, 2 compulsory fasting days in a month, if not more, austerity. Even from the economic point of view, such 2 fasting days in a month in the state will save tons of food, and the system will also act very favorably on the general health of the citizens. Second one, there must be compulsory marriage of young boys and girls attaining 24 years of age and 16 years of age respectively. There is no harm in co-education in the schools and colleges, provided the boys and girls are duly married, and in case there is any intimate connection between a male and female student, they should be married properly without illicit relation. The Divorce Act is encouraging prostitution, and this should be abolished. Third one, the citizens of the state must give in charity up to 50% of their income for the purpose of creating a spiritual atmosphere in the state or in the human society, both individually and collectively. They should preach the principles of Bhagavatam by A. Karma Yoga, or doing everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. B. Regular hearing of the Srimad Bhagavatam from authorized persons or realized souls. C. Chanting of the glories of the Lord congregationally at home or at places of worship. D. Rendering all kinds of services to Bhagavatas engaged in preaching Srimad Bhagavatam. And E. Residing in a place where the atmosphere is saturated with God consciousness. If the state is regulated by the above process, naturally there will be God consciousness everywhere. Gambling of all description, even speculative business enterprise, is considered to be degrading, and when gambling is encouraged in the state, there is complete disappearance of truthfulness. Allowing young boys and girls to remain unmarried more than the above mentioned ages and licensing animal slaughterhouses of all description should be at once prohibited. The flesh eaters may be allowed to take flesh as mentioned in the scriptures and not otherwise. Intoxication of all description, even smoking cigarettes, chewing tobacco, or the drinking of tea must be prohibited. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavad pranams.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. It's such a wonderful purport that's just we have to read out all the words given by Srila Prabhupada. So actually the main thing is, if the irreligious principle is there, then who is the main reason for that? The administrator. Okay, because he is the one should take care of all these religious principles. If he allowed all these irreligious principles to happen in the society, then he is responsible. So here the irreligious principles are mentioned here, like pride, prostitution, intoxication, and falsehood. So which will actually counteract all these things? The religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, truthfulness. So we should actually develop all these qualities by following the austerity. Okay, even though if we want to actually save ourselves from the polluted atmosphere, like nowadays because of corona, we actually try to protect ourselves by wearing mask. We all actually used it, right? So similarly, if we want to actually counterattack those falsity, because we are surrounded by this polluted atmosphere, so instead of actually blaming the administrator, because that it is the responsibility of the administrator to actually take care of the whole society and protect the citizens. But all these things are irreligious activities are actually happening around us. So what is the solution? That is clearly mentioned in this purport. We have to actually follow the austerity. What are the austerities? It is very simple. Cleanliness, mercifulness, truthfulness, and we should not be actually intoxicated, like no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and what is the fourth one? No meat eating. Okay, so this is a four principles. That's why Prabhupada mentioned that these are the 4 pillars of religious life. Those who wants to follow the religious principle, they should try to maintain these 4 types of austerity. And when we are actually talking about these austerities, it is actually applicable to all the living entities. Means all the human beings, at least, not for all living entities. Just leave about the plants, animals, and other things. Not for human beings. Yeah, it is applicable to all the human beings, but all human beings are not in the same level. That is also given. Based on our association, like wherever means if you are associating with the sattva guna, there are 3 modes are there: sattva guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. So whether all the human beings are actually having, do we all have the same quality and same nature? No. So based on our inherited quality like Rajoguna, Tamoguna, or Sadviguna, everybody will have different types of characters, different types of habits, activities. We are doing different types of activities. So according to our level, there are different methods are prescribed. So that methods, the different methods are prescribed in the Vedas. So based on our understanding and based on our level of faith, they can actually follow the different processes which are recommended in the Shastras. So even in the Bhagavad Gita, it is given that those who are in the mode of Rajoguna or Tamoguna, they will do different types of worship. And they will follow different types of ritualistic activities. So one who is in the mode of goodness, he should not actually try to imitate the 3rd category people. Okay, that is also, and he cannot actually right to blame the 3rd category also. Both are given because that people also following the religious principle. They are also following according to the Shastras. So there are actually the Shastras also categorized into 3 categories, means Sattvic and Rajasic and Tamasic. The Vedas are actually in the 3 categories: Sattvic and Rajasic and Tamasic. Those who are in the Rajasic mode and Tamasic mode, they are following that Shastras. So in that Shastras actually help the people to upgrade themselves. If they don't even have consciousness, means God consciousness, okay, if you want to eat meat, then do this type of ritualistic activity, offer that meat to this god, then you can have it. Similarly, those who want to actually take the drink, they can do different type of yajna. Here it is mentioned about Sautramani Yajna. So this Sautramani Yajna means actually that is also worshipping Lord Indra, to please the Lord Indra, to please the demigod. They will do these different types of yajnas and pujas and some ritualistic activities. So those who are actually worshipping these different demigods, what is their purpose? What is their mood? Do they want to actually get the real bhakti, real devotion?
No,
No, Mataji, for fruitive
No.
activities.
Yeah. So they are expecting some fruitive activities. So they want to actually fulfill their desire. So at least they are, through that, they are getting some God consciousness. They are connecting themselves to demigod. So these activities are actually upgrading each living entity. So there is no right to actually blame the 3rd category of people. So they are also actually following the Shastras. But one should not try to imitate themselves. Those who are, there are 2 categories like pravritas and nivritas. So who are pravritas? Those who want to actually engage themselves in this material activity. The nivritas are very strong in devotion. Okay, so those who are in the pravritas, they will actually following these different types of Vedas according to their level of faith, and they will come to the level of nivritas. So, and the nivritas should not actually try to imitate the pravritas. So the Vedas will give different prescriptions, different recommendations according to their level. So that is important. And in order to actually bring up the lower grade of people, or the first step of austerity, means the one who is actually the responsible position, one who is in the responsible position, who wants to actually bring their dependence to that level, they have to follow this order. The suggestions are given here. At least they have to follow the fasting days. we can actually tell them that it is good for their health also, scientifically proven. So actually, instead of thinking for the Lord, instead of actually pleasing the Lord, in order to maintain their own health, they can actually take up this fasting. So that fasting should be taken care. And the second one is compulsory marriage. So the age limit is given. So like instead of actually free mixing, we should tell them that they should actually follow this type of religious principle. That will actually help us to maintain their, there is also one type of austerity. And what is the third suggestion is given? Whatever they are earning, they should actually utilize certain percentage to the devotional activity that purifies their earnings, that purifies their consciousness. It will help us to advance further. So that is a third suggestion. So by doing all these things, automatically we will actually develop or purify our consciousness. All these activities will help us to purify our consciousness, because these are all actually recommended in the Shastras. Okay. So by following these austerities, what will be the result? The result is given in the first line. It will counteract the irreligious things, whatever immoral qualities we have, that all these things will be washed off by following this simple austerity in our practical or day-to-day life. Okay. Sorry, it's already late. Can one of you read the sloka and translation, Mataji? We will just...
Hare Krishna,
Mataji, Sudha Mataji is raising her hands.
Yeah. Mataji, could you read the sloka and translation?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. पुनश्च जातं रूपम् अदात् प्रभुः ततो नृतं मदं कामं रजो वैरं च पंचमम्. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The personality of Kali asked for something more, and because of his begging, the king gave him permission to live where there is gold, because wherever there is gold, there is also falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, the personality, the Kali Purusha, well known that there is no place to actually live there, because King Parikshit is very strict. He is always already maintaining religious principles throughout his kingdom. So it doesn't get actually any place to actually live, even though he allows him to enter into few places, but he knows very well that there is no place in this kingdom. So he is actually asking something more. So what he said, wherever the gold is there. So here it is given that actually, the women has to actually wear the gold ornaments. So it is actually recommended in the Shastras, but one should not have or the taste or having, some people, they wants to have more gold, like very much attachment towards the gold. So that is not actually prescribed in the Shastras. If you are using for devotional service, it is fine. Otherwise, we should not actually hunger to store or buy more gold, because it has the quality, it automatically develops falsity. See, the reason is given. It automatically develops falsity and it leads to intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. So whoever actually is fond of gold, the alert is given here. If you are actually having that mood, so then automatically all these irreligious principles will follow us. So we should be very careful. We should not actually get more or store more or fond of gold. Okay. So Kali Purusha is actually residing in one of the object, the gold. If you want to actually enter or develop irreligious activity, then one can actually go into it. Okay, any questions, Mataji? Somebody asked. has some question. Sorry for the delay.
Mataji, are we done? That question was about how a religious person can surrender to Krishna. We were
Okay.
we studied how 6 factors like accepting those things that favor bhakti and not accepting. We saw the 6 factors. I thought bhakti is the main point there. Bhakti, faith, trust. If it's a religious person, they don't have these characteristics. So how do they surrender, Mataji? Bhakti is the only way. Is that right, Mataji?
Yeah, bhakti is the only way. But how can we come into bhakti?
Chanting.
Bhakti, okay. Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Association.
No, that's what in the first verse we have actually gone through. If you go through the first verse again, that the recommendation is given. Those who are actually worshipping the demigods, they are actually indirectly avidhi purvagam. They are indirectly worshipping me. So those who actually don't follow the religious principles, but they want some material benefits. Am I right? They want some material benefits.
Okay, Mataji, got it.
So for that, they have to actually worship some, they immediately want to actually get rid of the challenges they are facing in this material world. So for that, they are ready to follow any type of worship. So immediately they will taken the third category, mode of ignorance. Okay, in the mode of ignorance, certain ritualistic activities are recommended. Those they will do that. So indirectly, they will connect themselves with the Lord. That's why we have read in the first verse.
Yes.
So slowly they will actually come to the level of final surrender.
Yes, Mataji. Got it. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. So, any
Hare Krishna,
additional points?
Mataji.
Yes,
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Actually, I have to thank you specially for last week, Mataji, because you came there with the preparation for 18th chapter. Only then we said it is not 18th chapter and we changed it to 17th chapter. Suddenly
No,
we gave you
17
the
to
verse,
16.
verse number, but you did not get panicked, but you handled the session very well. We couldn't thank you that day, Mataji. So I'm giving you special thanks on behalf of the entire team members here who are here, Mataji, devotees who are here. I thank you so much, Mataji. That day,
Hare Krishna. Marji, sorry. I have to thank you all for patiently listening all whatever in the class. So it is my responsibility. Thank you. Sorry, Marji. I haven't actually gone through with all other whatever she has written. No, so I didn't actually gone through fully. I just have seen my part and just started working on it. So it's my mistake also. Anyway, Marji, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Mataji,
For bearing with
Mataji,
me.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, thank you for explaining about surrender.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Actually, Krishnamurti Prabhuji is saying something.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much for explaining how to surrender. The real meaning, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Yeah, it's given in the purport itself in 18.66, different level of surrendering. It will help us because every time we are hearing these words, surrender, surrender, surrender. So we may think that what level we are in. So it's even though we hear this verse, many of you actually know this verse, knew this verse very well, but still it is good to actually memorize or remember these lines. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, Prabhu, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji,
Yes, Prabhu.
I've been reading these scriptures, particularly today's slokas.
Verses.
Is it nowadays in Kali Yuga, we have, even though we have crossed 4,500 years, so we have already drowned in this bad situation. Is it possible to expect all these things which were stated in purport, Mataji? And in addition to that, Mataji, whereas I am going to for auditing work weekly once or twice.
Okay.
I used to say anything else to the people who were sitting behind me about the Bhagavatam. So I won't say Bhagavatam, all those things, just what Shastra says like that. One man who is there in the administration, he has heard something else regarding that. he only came to me today. Sir, you have told very, very beautiful things. Those are all very, very pleased to hear my ears. The thing is, it is not possible to cultivate and have it in our life, Prabhuji. It is not possible for me. Because the things what you have explained is very, very super. So I realize and I used to remember again and again. But in practice, it is not possible for me. He is given example also. If I earn 2 lakhs rupees in this month, I plan to earn 5 lakhs in next month, to earn 5 lakhs in next month. How it is going on? Every morning and evening, I used to expect some people come to me in my house and I will call them, I will talk to them. So this unnecessary things only, that money making schemes only I used to think. Is it possible for me to get rid of this material world? He asked me. So of
Okay.
course it is not
Yeah.
possible. Thing is, you do, there is a poll.
Prabhu,
Don't,
who said it is not possible, Prabhu?
yes,
It is possible. It is recommended by Krishna himself. Like Daivihi Yeshagunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. Because of our association with different types of modes, we are thinking something else and we are doing whatever according to our taste and according to our will. Everybody is acting in a different manner. So it is difficult to overcome from these challenges. So, but still, we can't say it is impossible. It is possible. How it is possible? By surrendering ourselves to the Lord. So what type of surrendering? That's what we have gone through, different level of surrendering. Just we can try to do the favorable things to the Lord. Let us try. Okay. Whenever you are going or whenever you are actually starting your job, before you can start your job, you can do at least one prayer. Like Mahamantra, you can chant at least one round. Because that person has stated many nice things. I don't know whether I can follow or not. So let me actually do at least the Nama. The Nama is so powerful, the Dharma. Okay. At least they can chant. If they can't chant, they can actually pray to the Lord, means with the folded hands. I won't actually do it, but I couldn't do it. So may the Lord can help me. Could you actually help me? They can pray to the Lord in such a way. The prayers are very powerful fact again. So like that, they can at least, otherwise, whatever they are earning, yat karoshi, yat dakshnati, yat juhoshi. So whatever they are earning, they can actually pray. So some people, some businessmen, they are doing like that. Even though they are actually earning in the immoral way, they are actually paying certain amount to the hundi, to the Lord. So in that way, they are actually purifying themselves. So these are all some factors, some activities which will actually help us to purify our consciousness. So possibility is there. Who says it is impossible? Possibility is there. These sadhus and shastras are really helping us to get away from this mode of different modes. So these are all actually giving lot of instructions to come out from these challenges. So we can actually try the simple way. Either we can actually give some Lakshmi or give the donation to the temple, and we can actually serve them nicely. Like that, they can do different types of activity.
okay, Mataji, I will start to talk with him in this means. I will try
Yeah.
my. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. We
Yes,
have this
Mataji.
sloka recitation today. So may we start with that, Mataji?
Yeah, please carry on. Sorry, Prabhu said something. Yeah, Mataji, you carry on.
Thank you, Mataji. Dear devotees, since we are starting the Kunti Stuti today, today I will be doing the 13 shlokas. You can just listen. From tomorrow, one will be starting with, every devotee will, each one will do one. Okay. So today only I am doing, so you can just listen to it. We are starting from 18 to 30. So this 18 to 30 we will be doing for this month completely. By that, we all will get a practice for these verses. So I would request you all to listen. Kunti uvacha namasye purusham tvadyam ishvaram prakate param अलक्ष्यं सर्वभूतानाम् अन्तर्बहिरवस्थितं मायाजवनिकाचन्नम् अज्ञादोक्षजमव्ययं न लक्ष्यसे मूढदृशा नतो नाट्यधरो यथा तथा परमहंसानां मुनीनाम् अमलात्मनां भक्तियोगविधानार्थं कथं पश्येम हि स्त्रियः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिनि नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रये यथा ऋषिकेश कलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्रातिचिरं सुचार्पिता विमोचिताहं च सहात्मजा विभु त्वयैव नादेन मुहुर्विपद्गणात् विशान्महाग्ने पुरुषाददर्शनात् असत्सभाया वनवासकृच्छितः मृदे मृदे अनेकमहारथास्त्रतो द्रौण्यस्य तस्त्रश्चास्म हरेर्भिरक्षिताः विपदः सन्तुता शश्वत् तत्र तत्र जगद्गुरु भवतो दर्शनं यत्स्यात् अपुनर्भव दर्शनम् जन्मैश्वर्यसुतश्रीभिरेतमानमदः पुमान् नैवार्हत्यभिधातुं वै त्वामकिञ्चन गोचरम् नमो किञ्चन वित्ताय निवृत्तगुणवृत्तये आत्मारामाय शान्ताय कैवल्यपतये नमः मन्ये त्वां कालमीशानम् अनादिं निधनं विभुं समं चरन्तं सर्वत्र भूतानां यन्मितः कलि न वेद कश्चित् भगवन् चिकीर्षितं तवेहमानस्य नृणां विडम्बनं न यस्य कश्चित् दहितोऽस्ति कर्हिचित् द्वेष्यस्य चास्मिन् च यस्मिन् विषमामतिर्नृणां जन्म कर्म च विश्वात्मन् अजस्या कर्तुरात्मनः तिर्यन्नुषीषु यादर्षु तदत्यन्तविदम्बनम्. So till this 30th verse, we will be reciting from tomorrow every day until this month is ending. Till this June month is ending, we will be reciting from verse number 18 to 30. So I would request everybody to just have a read to it, have a look to it and come. So from tomorrow, each one will recite one verse and we will practice. Thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Madhi. Just one more minute. I just want to answer this question like Giridhar Gopal Prabhu posted in the chatting box. Hope you have gone through the question that like when my livelihood itself is a question, how do you expect me to devote myself to God? Let God first give me, then I will surrender. So means even though if you are actually demanding the Lord, means he has faith in the Lord. So it shows that he has faith in the Lord. That's why, okay, let the Lord give me, then I can actually surrender myself. Yeah, surrendering is not possible immediately for the irreligious person. Okay. But those who are intelligent, they know that only the Lord can protect us. So if he knows that this is the only solution, and if we are not ready to take up the solution, then whose fault? Whose fault is that? We know that only the Lord can help us. Even though if we know the answer, if we are not actually take up the answer, if we are not utilizing that opportunity, then it is the problem of that individual. That's what we can say, Prabhu.
Yes,
they need not
Mataji.
actually. It is a problem of the individual. The intelligence is given to everybody, all the human beings equally. We should use the intelligence. Only God can help us. No one can help us. Even though if we have the money, the doctor will say at certain point that we can't actually help you. Please pray to the Lord. So like that, God is the only protector. He can only help us. If we are not ready to devote ourselves, if we are not ready to accept the mercy of the Lord, then what to do? So, yeah. So we should actually accept or we should faith on the Lord. That is important. Little inclination is enough. The Lord is showing lot of mercy. Little inclination is enough. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktiya prayachati. It doesn't mean that I have to buy a flower shop, then only I can offer little flower to you. That is full. That is not a right attitude. Even though if we manasiham, if we can actually in the mind itself, we can offer to the Lord. In the mind itself, we can actually pray to the Lord. Through our mind, we can actually surrender ourselves to the Lord. We need not need some extra things to actually surrender ourselves. Simply that the mood is enough. So we don't need anything, any material support. All these
This
material support.
realization will take time, Mataji.
That's what, that is, we should utilize our intelligence in the right way. That is important, Prabhu. The intelligence is given to everybody. That's what I want to say. The intelligence is given everybody. We should utilize it. You think that if you are not actually having faith on the Lord, then where will we actually show our faith to any material person or what? No guarantee. Why don't they actually try? You can actually ask the person, why don't you try? You are actually showing faith to other people, other objects, other material things. Why don't you show little faith to the Lord? Why don't you try? Try yourself, then experience. We can say like that. If they don't have faith on the Lord, we can say to them, why don't you try? We are trying in different level, different side, different people. So why don't you try this to the Lord? Just show little faith. Then experience the result. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. And thank you for